Hi, my name is Laura, and this is for a class at UCLA Extension, and the course is Design History and Context. The assignment is to design a print or digital piece in a visual communication format and historical style. I'm choosing a four-panel digital brochure because it signifies the four phases of this graphic designer's career. And the designer I have chosen is out of the 90s and is still current today. His name is David Carson, graphic designer. He's known for his style of grunge, for the typography grunge and garage fonts. And he's an unconventional self-taught graphic designer who revolutionized the design scene in America in the 90s. His grid-free, innovative typography and distinct layout set him apart in the magazine world. He is known by some as the godfather of grunge typography, which he employed throughout his career. The other things that he has done, he's worked for some top companies worldwide, and he worked on their advertising campaigns and was the art director for Pepsi, Ray-Ban, Nike, Microsoft, Samsung, Bose, Giorgio Armani, Quicksilver, Audi, and others. And let's see, he has his own firm. It's called David Carson Design. He's recognized for winning over 230 graphic design awards for his work in graphic design, photography, advertising, and branding. In 2014, David Carson won the AIGA Gold Medal for breaking the rules and inspiring a generation. Here's an article. Um, These days, he's doing quite a lot of public speaking and exhibits of his work. And the number one thing in the quote is to have fun. Let's see. And over here, it's another article. This is his latest book. The latest phase of his graphic design evolution has been with collages. So this book highlights the collages that he's designed more recently. So when I did my research, again, the four sections of his career really stood out. Most recently, the new work, collages. He incorporated this type of graphic design style for an alcohol bottle, and he worked with the company, the Macallan, and his name was a co-collaboration in 20 for this wonderful design here over on the left. These are several of the corporate brands, starting with Audi, Armani, Samsung. Going back to the 90s, he was actually art director of several magazines. The one he's most known for is Ray-Gun. And that's when a lot of this grunge and garage fonts really emerged. And so he incorporated a lot of different styles, playing with the type, looking at different axis instead of just straight horizontal type, laying it vertical, laying it at an angle, playing with different individual characters. For example, the R or the G's sometimes are reversed. Maybe when there's an S, replace the S with the number 5. Um, Merging different fonts, removing a lot of the line spacing to make them more jumbled, and see how it works together. And it was quite successful, and it created a whole grunge movement in the graphic design world at that time. And also, it was during this postmodernism digital age when the emergence of the Power Mac computer came out. So a lot of interesting things. Going way back to where he first started, he was actually a pro surfer at one point. He was ranked ninth in the world for surfing. and how the graphic design work came about as he started doing some graphic design and logos for surf companies in Southern California, and then became the art director at some of these publications. And so that was sort of the in, so to speak, with from surfing and transitioning into this whole wonderful world of digital graphic design. So these are some of the pieces back then and more current with his tie in with surfing, and it's quite interesting. Magazine layouts, playing up, quite exaggerating, making the type huge, lots of layers on top of layers, whether it be type and photos, using some different Photoshop filters and opacities. He has designed a whole group of surfboards, wetsuits, other apparel. So he continues that today. These are several of the typefaces that I incorporated in some of my initial draft designs. And so you'll see the different variations. I'm looking at more of a bright color palette to bring some life to some of these more vibrant designs. And here I came up with four panels, and they're going to be 11 inches tall, and then I could easily go to print. Each one of the panels is 6 inches, 0.375. So it gives the total width of 25.5. So starting with the left panel, I was inspired by one of the surfboards from David Carson with this big X, and I thought that could be an interesting little design component. So my pencil sketches started out with more of a square design with an X in the middle and playing up the type. Maybe the type would be on the top of the line or the bottom of the line. But then I realized that these are more of a vertical, and so I split the X's into a horizontal, an X in the top, and an X in the bottom. And started playing around with different placements of the text. And I realized after using the pencil erase, it was much easier just to go straight to the computer. And so that's where I started placing the X's. And another important element was how the text plays with the existing photos. So I was able to tuck behind a little bit of the image with the shirt behind the text, did reverse text. I'm going to apply some color later. This was a very popular design way to lay out text for some of these unique publications, specifically with Reagan, was doing text, whether it be vertical or at an angle, kind of smoosh it up, take away the leading, and it creates a whole different effect. It's still, you have to kind of look in, maybe zoom in and read these, but that looked really great for his kind of his signature quote that he's known for saying quite a bit. So I still have to incorporate now. I'd like to incorporate the AIGA gold medal winner, some additional graphics, some additional type, and then apply the color to the first one. The second panel is I used, this is just for reference for a design layout idea. And instead of doing the X, doing it more horizontal, almost like stripes, starting out smaller and getting bigger as you go along. And looking at his successful advertising campaigns, specifically with Pepsi, Giorgio Armani, Nike, Bose, Microsoft, Audi, Quicksilver, and Burton. And there's some really great graphics that I'd like to put in place of where the people are and where they're blurred together. So it's kind of an interesting effect I could maybe multiply an Audi and start blurring them across. Audi was a very big international successful campaign, and he was the art director in all these major campaigns. So again, this cover of a Ray-Ban magazine from the 90s is simply there as a space holder. And I can use the title top advertising brands or advertising, um, for the header. And as far as the individual lines, for like Audi or Giorgio Armani, Pepsi, I can place them there and then cut them off. So that's sort of my plan. Cut off the text, insert all the different photos. There's quite a lot of different stock photos for these companies and their products, and look at some special effects in Photoshop. The third one is specifically with ray gun, but not necessarily. It's more of the emergence of the grunge typography. I read quite a bit in these articles, starting out in the very first sentence, that David Carson is the godfather of grunge typography. He ended up developing several garage fonts, typefaces. This is a more recent photo of David Carson. He is doing quite a lot of speaking international these days and has his exhibits. So I thought this was very applicable. I was able to purchase these two images of him via stock photography, so I have rights to use them. This is very current, and I wanted to place the type in more of a frame shape, accentuating the different typefaces. Um, and one thing that was quite popular in the 90s was placing type directly over images, sometimes putting them on their face, over their eyes, their cheeks, their hands, arms. So this was kind of nice where you can see his eyes sort of peeking through underneath. And there was sort of like this black, this purple box here. So I thought that would be nice to incorporate another one of his quotes. And it's emotional typography. There's a subliminal thing over here that you'll have to look at. This kind of layout was quite popular in the 90s as well, playing with some lines, hairline little boxes in surrounding on top of little words. And so that's what I came up. This is the panel specifically with framing an image in typography. Going back to where he first started as a professional surfer and incorporating his very successful surfboards, specifically the Starboard, with the wave and his nod to magazine layouts. So this is still a rough digital sketch. I want to blend in the edges here with the water of the surfboard. Keep the white opacity where it is, but I want to bring back the opacity of the reds here to make them really pop. The other blues, yellows, tans to make it really pop up here. Add some other keywords specifically for surfing, so that it can look more like more of a magazine layout, but at least I've got the layout started there. So again, this would be a 4-panel brochure based on the 4 significant areas of his graphic design, photography, advertising, and branding career. So I hope you like it. And like I said, these are still in draft, but I'm quite inspired. I'm a kid from the 90s, and I used to read Ray Gun when it first came out. So it's kind of exciting. Thank you.